Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'll be doing something different for this channel today. I will be doing my makeup while I'll be discussing to you 5 things I wish I knew before I applied as a cabin crew. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. So today it's not actually a makeup tutorial, but I'll be just doing some talking while I'm doing my makeup. I have a list of things I wish I really knew before I started as a cabin crew. As a background, I haven't flown any aircraft before I became a cabin crew. I totally don't have any idea on how they really work. I only knew things about cabin crew when I watch movies, TV series, or probably just seeing them in the airport, and that's it. I don't know anything what they actually do inside the aircraft. So these are the list of things that I wish I knew before I applied as a cabin crew, and might actually help you before you apply as a cabin crew as well. So first on the list is training. I actually have a minimum of at least 2 months of training. Some other airlines, it depends on them how long their training would be, but most of the airlines it's at least 2 months. So when I was in Cebu Pacific, I think we have probably 2 months as well, 2 to 3 months. So in some airlines they said in Philippine Airlines, I'm not totally sure, but they said they have 6 months of training. So I'm not totally sure of that, so don't quote me on it. So this training, before I thought it was just training for makeup or training to how to serve beverage or food to the customers and all, or probably how to talk to your customers or deal with the customers, but no. 90% of the training is actually with regards to safety, security, and first aid. So first off, we'll be talking about the safety and the security part of the training. So I'm not gonna go into details about it because it's confidential, guys. So but mainly it's all about procedures on how to keep the aircraft safe before, during, and after the flight. So most of the time this is about the things or the equipments that we have in the aircraft and how to operate them and how to check if they're functional before the flight. Also, we are taught on how to check people or things or equipments that are entering the aircraft. With regards to safety, we do have this evacuation drills, fight fire, how to manage smoke in the cabin, how to do evacuation drills just in case there's an emergency landing or some ditching. Ditching is water landing. We are also doing some simulation about it, like if there is any types of emergency or incidents that happened before, we do have simulations on that. So they are trying to at least give us an idea or prepare us mentally on how to deal with those things. Most of the people are asking if they really need to know how to swim. What I could say is that if you have an idea, or if you have the skill, or if you have the knowledge on how to swim, it would be a plus for you. But if you don't have, it's totally fine as long as you are willing to learn, or as long as you're willing to jump into the water with the life jacket on. It is very important that you are courageous enough to jump into the water even with the life jacket. You need to be very courageous or very brave. We do have first aid training as well. So we are trained for basic life support, and we are trained with some first aids, especially with nose bleeding, motion sickness, or heart attack, and stroke as well. So such things we are trained for it, but we are not like 100% knowledgeable about it. So we just had a quick not really quick, but we had a brief training about it. We were also trained to assist in delivery for a baby, just in case they accidentally deliver the baby inside the aircraft or during the flight. So all these trainings, we are doing it mostly in that minimum 2 months to 3 months training that we have. And then after that training, you will be having this simulation flight or observer flight that we call. And then once you pass that, you will be able to legally fly the flights, legally fly the or legally operate the flights. After that, we do have some recurrent training is annually done. It's like a review of those things that we were discussing a while ago. So like it's a run through of all those safety, security, and first aid training that I had initially, but it's just a quick run through of it. It depends on the airline. Sometimes they do it 3 days, sometimes they do it 2 days, or it depends on the courses that are assigned to you. And then, with regards to that, there is also service training. Is where we discuss about how to properly serve the customers, how to deal with customers, what to do. After that, you could say we do have some grooming training as well. Like to, they will discuss to you how or what are the standards of what standard makeup or what type of makeups to use, what colors to use, like how to properly fix your hair during the flight, and all this like accessories that you need to wear or you can wear or not to wear. So all these things are also discussed. Even the accessories that you can put on your bags, these are also discussed as well. We also have flight assessments. So basically, these are the flights where a checker will be boarding the aircraft as well together with you, and they'll be checking you based on set categories. So you need to be able to have a competent grade with regards to this assessment. So basically, in my opinion, it is actually very stressful for me because I think it's just me that I don't like to be assessed by people. It gives extra stress for me. Like I know I can do my job normally, but then if someone is there, if I know that someone is there assessing me, it really doubles the stress that I am experiencing on that certain flight. For us now in my current airline, it's every 3 months. So every after 3 months, you will be having a check flight. There in between, there would be like unplanned checks. So just in case, there are also a surprise check. So like a pop quiz or something. Oh, speaking of quiz, during the flight, I mean, before the flight starts, we do have these briefings. So with the briefing, we have Q&A, question and answer portion in the briefing, which actually check the knowledge of the crew if they are competent enough to operate the flight for that day, or it also is sort of a review for the other crew. So just in case, it depends on how you look at it actually. So you can look at it negatively, checking how crew are very competent enough to take or to operate the flight, or positively that it is actually a review for all of the crew members on that flight. The next on my list is schedules. So basically with this job, you will be actually having very erratic schedule. So you might actually have morning shift. It's not just having morning shift, night afternoon, evening, and night shift. It can actually be like in the midnight, at 2 a.m, probably 5 p.m, or it might actually start in 11 p.m. It depends. We are given 12 hours difference, 12 hours gap from one flight to another flight, and that would already be legal. So there are times that I'm flying just a gap of 12 hours in between. Sometimes it became more than 24 hours or so. So it depends on the schedule that you will be having. With regards to the schedule, you will be receiving whole month schedule, and it is not 100% sure that you will be having that exact schedule, because while the month is going, you might actually have some roster changes or schedule changes in that specific days. So it depends. Basically, with regards to being a cabin crew, you cannot set 100% sure appointments on everything, because there might actually be some changes. Most of the time, if it is off, it is 99.9% sure that it is an off, but then again, I said it is only 99.9%. There is still a bit of probability that it might actually change into something else, into a flight, or probably you are called into the office, or anything can actually happen. It can actually change definitely throughout the month. So that is one problem that is faced being a cabin crew. You cannot set much of your schedule basically just because of these changes. You can actually request flights, you can actually request days off, or what else? You can actually request timings if you want to. Like with me, I keep on requesting for Manila flight, but then since there's a lot of Filipino in this airline, we actually need to struggle getting that Manila, Clark, or Cebu flight. So basically, I'm having difficulty. It's been it's been since October that I was able to go to Manila as a flight, and because of this pandemic, of course, I wasn't able to go home as a vacation. But nonetheless, I cannot do anything about it. The next item in my list is holidays. So basically, if you are a cabin crew, you might actually not be able to go onto holidays or occasions, special occasions with your family or loved ones. It's very difficult to do that, because once again, it's difficult to get very popular bids or requests. Like if you were requesting for Christmas, New Year, and such things, you might have difficulty on getting it, because most of the time in airlines they do seniority basis. So if you're a very senior crew that is flying, you have a high tendency of getting your requests. But if you are like most likely the most junior of the airline and very new with the airline, there is a tendency that you will be having difficulty in getting it. So next on my list would be the salary. So I'm not going to talk about how much I'm earning, but I wanted to let you know that yes, salary for a cabin crew is really good, as I could say, but it also has a drawback. So salary with cabin crew, for cabin crew or any, probably even pilot, they have the same exact mechanism or scheme on how to compute the salary. So salary for us is composed of basic salary and the flying time allowance, and also the hotel allowance. So how is it computed? So basically, basic salary is what everyone else is having. So we do have a monthly basic salary that is standard, and of course you will be able to have increments in it every year. It depends on your performance and all this. And then we do have the flight allowance. So flight allowance is actually computed on how many hours you're flying every month. This allowance is actually not counted upon checking in. It actually starts once the aircraft push back, or by the time it goes back, up until it is parked onto your destination. Delays also, it depends on the delay. If you are delayed and the aircraft is not yet moving, it means that it doesn't include on your flying time. So there are times that I experienced it in my previous airline. Even in this current airline that I have, there are some delays, but I've experienced before that we were delayed for 3 hours. Passengers are already there inside the aircraft and we are waiting to depart, but unfortunately we cannot still depart because the airport is busy. A lot of reasons why they cannot move the aircraft yet. So with that, you are not yet paid. But if the aircraft already moved and you are already in a taxiway or somewhere like it looks like a road inside the terminal or inside the airport grounds, once you are already there, you are being paid hourly already. So it includes, or it is added onto your flight time. So that is really good. Also do have some layover allowance or hotel allowance. So once you do have layovers, there will be some allowance. It depends on the airline. So some airlines, they give it all the same amount. Like it doesn't necessarily depend on where you are. So but they will give you the same exact price. Some airlines, it depends on the destination where you were. So if the cost of living in that area or in that country or in that destination is really high, they will actually give me very good hotel allowance. Although this hotel allowance is actually just computation or just the money that they give you to be able to buy food and drinks during the stay that you have in that destination. So it is really not like a huge amount. It is actually not like a giveaway to the from the airline, but unfortunately in some airlines they don't give it on the day of your layover. They give it together with your salary. So it is actually important to have extra money with you if you are doing layovers. Like in my previous airline, Cebu Pacific, we have it during the layover. I don't know if they changed it now, but yes, before we have it during the layover. And it's an exact amount. Forgot how much it is, but it is a standard amount to all of the destinations. Whether it is Dubai or Sydney. The downside about a monthly or an hourly, pay is that if we don't fly, especially if we are on our vacation leave, we will not be able to have a very good allowance. I was able to actually experience it recently because of this pandemic. So yes, we were not flying much during this pandemic. I think I was not flying for almost 3 months. So with that 3 months, I'm only receiving basic pay. Although I'm not complaining about it, because imagine I'm just here in my accommodation and I am being paid with my basic salary. So it is still a good thing to think about. So this is the completed look for today. It's just very simple late night makeup for today, and I was able to discuss to you all the things that I wish I knew when before I applied as a cabin crew. Don't be discouraged about these things. It is only a guide for you guys so that you will be able to know what to prepare before you actually applied as a cabin crew. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell button so that you will be notified onto my next videos. And once again, this is Krisha.